Welcome to Not the 9 to 5,
the podcast for freelancers
by freelancers.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out,
join us as we share insights, tips and stories
to help you thrive in the world of independent work.
I'm Kat.
And I'm Francesca.
We are two freelancers exploring the highs, lows
and everything in between. So grab your coffee, kick back,
and let's dive into another episode of Not the 9 to 5.
Katheryn Siggers.
Francesca Marago.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm very, very good.
Good. Who have we got on the show today?
So we've got Peta Cornish here today. She's an actor, communications coach and voiceover artist. As a coach, she is an advanced ICF life and careers coach, specialising in helping people find empowerment and confidence both in their personal and professional lives. She's also been seen on screen in Doctors, Shadow and Bone and The Alienist, Angel of Darkness, and on stage at the National, The Old Vic and The Vault.
How exciting.
Yeah.
Welcome, Peta.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
God.
Thanks for being
Wow,
here.
it's so exciting. Can you tell us then, where did it all start? How did you get into being all of these multi-hyphenate freelance creative careers? How did you do it?
Yeah, I guess it's been adding in different things as I've been going along. So I've always been an actor, really. As a kid, I was always kind of dressing up, playing around with things, making people laugh. And I started, I guess where it became serious is when I chose to go to acting classes rather than any other kind of classes as a kid on a Saturday. And then I started going to a school called the Artist Theatre School. And I took private lessons there with a well-established, brilliant actress called Amanda Redman. And she took me through exams when I was like from the age of probably 8 to 16. And alongside that, I was in shows at the Artist Theatre School, and it gave me a really a good taste of what it was like to be in professional shows. So that's where it kind of started getting a bit more serious. I was doing exams, I was in shows every year or twice a year. I was also kind of doing a lot of acting at school and things like that. And then when I was 17, I got a part in an ITV drama called William and Mary with Martin Clunes. And I played his daughter for 3 years of that. And it was a big ITV primetime Sunday night family drama. And I played his daughter in that for 3 seasons.
Wow.
And that was like that was the first sort of big professional thing that I did. And it catapulted me into like being a professional actor. And then I had a decision to make at the end of those 3 series, whether I wanted to kind of get an agent and pursue that. And part of me thinks like, oh God, I should have done that, because if I got a big part in a primetime drama now, I'd be like so made up. But at the time, you know, I was like, I don't want to, I'd missed my friends. I'd missed out on some of the teenage bits of life. I wanted to travel. I wanted to learn. I wanted to, you know, get drunk and be silly and like not have any responsibilities for a bit. So I went to uni and did English. And then I graduated and I still wanted to be an actor. One of my tutors at university said, when I said to them that I was struggling to keep up with the reading. And then I told them what I was doing on the outside. And they were like, so are you doing English as a degree, or are you doing acting and drama? And I was like, because I was just involved in so much other stuff at uni. Anyway, so I went to Bristol Old Vic to do the 2-year course there. And it's like an MA, I guess. And I graduated from that and I got an agent. And then, so that was when my sort of acting career started again, I guess, was after drama school. And then I just started teaching on the side of acting. And I think you always need something to kind of pay the bills. And I tried lots of different things. so I trained as a masseuse. I did that for a bit. I worked as like a personal assistant. I temped a bit. I did some waitressing, doesn't everyone? And then, but what really stuck was teaching. And I started teaching English, and then I started teaching acting and audition technique. And I taught at a few drama schools, ran workshops, taught at drama schools in voice. And that was, I guess, when my confidence in my own vocal skills really came to the fore. I really enjoyed that, and people got a lot out of that. And then I left massaging and temping and all of that behind because it just wasn't making me happy. And I guess I'm lucky that I had that real sense of clarity and courage to say, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to try and just coach and be an actor. And so going fully like freelance, not being employed as an usher or a temp or anything like that, I was like, I'm just going to start out by myself. So I was teaching English, I was teaching audition technique. Then I stopped teaching English because I was like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I was just coaching in drama schools and audition technique and voice. And I then started to take on public speaking clients and communication skills, and people started to come to me for that kind of thing. And I guess there were referrals, things like that. And my friend, Laura, who's a brilliant actor, we started a business. We it's one of those where we were like sitting having a coffee going, I teach communication skills, I teach public speaking, ha ha ha, we should start a business. And then that happened. So we started a business, and I kind of, looking back on it, I kind of can't believe the way we just jumped in both feet. We were like, this is what our business is going to be called. We made a website, which is pretty ropey website, but we did it. It was all right in the end. And we just started running workshops and coaching people. We ran workshops at like crisis charity for homeless people. We ran workshops at Waitrose. We worked with companies like Amazon, PwC. We just kind of like just the Citizens Advice Bureau, schools. We really hit the ground running. And then when the pandemic hit, I started coaching more and more online and getting referrals. And she took a step back. And then after that, we parted ways basically. And she still runs the company on her own terms. And I was like, I want to train officially as a life coach. So that's what I did. I trained as a life coach, and that's what I do on the side now. And I've done my advanced training now.
When you say life coach, what does that entail? Like what is involved in it?
It's conversations basically. So I have conversations with people about their lives and goals, and I help them I coach them to achieve those goals. I guess if you think about it like some people think about it or compare it to therapy or mentoring or that kind of thing. It's someone who talks to you and stands alongside you and listens to you and helps you to reach your goals or change certain mindsets or reframe things. And yeah, it's solutions based rather than therapy might be sort of more trauma based or historically based. You hold space for people and their thoughts and questions and desires, and I'd call myself like a communications and confidence coach. I usually work with people around their goals with confidence, how they want to show up at work, but also personally. And I hopefully empower them and encourage them to build a sense of confidence and self-belief.
Yeah.
And my passion for that has really come from my own journey with that, you know, finding confidence and self-assurance as a self-employed person. Yeah.
Have there been any struggles for you along the way then?
How many have there been? I mean, so many. Like, finance struggles, like in my 20s when I was temping and things like that, when I first started out as a freelancer, and before I got my brilliant voice agent, and I do a lot of voice work as well, and that's been a new journey and something that I really love in my acting career. God, imposter syndrome, like, who am I to be delivering this workshop at Waitrose? Why these, you know, like, I can't coach this person because they're the CEO of X, and why should they listen to me? You know, massive moments of imposter syndrome, self-doubt, absolutely having nothing in the fridge and not knowing where my next penny is going to come from. You know, honestly, I remember my sister visiting me in my old flat, and I was scared about her looking in the fridge because there was nothing there. And then I think I went out to rehearsals or something, and I came back and she'd done a shop for me, bless her. And she just like bought me, you know, bought me basics and also some nice things that you just don't buy in your 20s as a freelancer, like M&S, granola. So loads of struggles. God.
How did that make you feel then? Like when you came home and your sister sort of, I guess, realised that you might have been struggling without you saying it necessarily?
Grateful, but also ashamed. Hugely ashamed. Hugely like, I'm not succeeding.
Yes.
And I guess and doubtful as well. You know, what I was going to say is that a lot of friends from university had gone into the 9 to 5, and, you know, they worked in consultancy or law or as doctors or in advertising, whatever it might be. And the fear or the self-doubt around, like, oh, I should be doing that too because that's safer and I'd be happier and da 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 da. And I've been through so many like ups and downs of that, you know, real in the doldrums of depression as well, and not really not being happy. And I think, gosh, it takes such self-belief and work to come to a place as an actor or any type of freelancer, where you're really like, no, I choose this. I choose the ups and downs of this. I choose this life, and I love it, and I celebrate it.
Yeah.
Whatever it brings.
Yeah. Have there been moments where you've almost gone, I can't do this anymore, I need to walk away from this life?
Yeah, totally. I remember I was like, I'm going to train to be a teacher. I'm going to do teach first. I'm going to train to be a teacher. There were moments where I was like, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, going to go into advertising or something like that, or go into corporate world. And I think about that now, and I'm like, oh no, just
What stopped you from going through with that?
I temped at a school for, I think I lasted a day, and it was so awful. It was so terrifying and awful. It was a really rough school that oh my God, I have so much respect for teachers, but I locked myself in the bathroom because I was so scared. It was it was so bad. And also I was like, I can't do this. This is not me. And then in advertising, I had an interview. I got to the interview round, and the guy in the interview, we started in his office, and he was like, after about 5 minutes of chatting, he was like, let's go to the canteen and get a cup of tea. And I was like, okay, sure. And he he bought me a cup of tea and he said, "Do you really want to do this? Because I don't think you do." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't. I really don't." And he was like, "It's really clear from your whole energy that you just don't want to be here. And this isn't, you want to be an actor, don't you?" And I was like, yeah. So I'm very thankful to that man as well, who just saw it in me, that I was like hating every moment. Yeah, I don't know. So those have been what stopped me, I guess. And the love for the job,
Of course.
I guess everything happens for a reason.
I was just going to say that that was life's way of stopping you from going off of the path that is chosen for you,
I think,
and that you're meant to do.
And as freelancers, we panic because we don't know when the next paycheck will come through, or 1 month will do better than the other month, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I don't know.
You have that panic, don't you?
I want to be able to go out for really fancy dinners with my friends, but I also want to go on holiday, and I want to invest in this new equipment and this new phone and new tape stuff. It's just continuous, and you're like, well, I can't do all those things, right now.
Yeah, and it's I guess what's been really helpful is just listening to you say that is the other thing that stopped me is the community of actors and specifically actors and creatives. Like, I feel so at home with other actors, with my friends who are writers, directors. I just feel myself. I go into a theatre and I sit and I feel myself. I feel like me and I feel at home. And that sort of sense of, I can't go on this bougie holiday with my friends, but actually neither can this mate of mine who's a director, and he understands, and that's okay. I can go, wild swimming in Cornwall, and that's fine, and I love it.
Oh, it's cold though. It's
freezing.
Cold.
Do you find that now doing the kind of life coach and like the confidence and empowerment kind of coaching, do you find there's more stability financially for you?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Because I think the other thing that's really great at being a freelancer is there's the constant hustle, the constant chase of the next job. And actually, although that's stressful, like, I love it. I love the hunt. I'm lucky now that I've done enough like customer acquisition, client acquisition, that I'm partnered with a couple of companies. I have workshops throughout the year that I run consistently. Fingers crossed that continues. So yeah, definitely my financial situation has gotten a lot better because of the coaching. And also because of the voice work, I've started doing a lot more of that over the last year or so, and I really enjoy that. And that means that I can go on holidays and buy, a new pair of sandals, and that's quite nice. I think a big game changer for me as well is like meeting my partner, who is in the corporate world, and seeing his drive and the way that his work ethic really drove me to create my days like a corporate person. So I work from 8 till 5, and obviously I take breaks, and if I need to go into town for an audition or shift or change things around, or I want to take an afternoon off, I have the gift to be able to do that. But his work ethic really made me knuckle down and like build my business as a coach, start like creating, being the architect of the life that I wanted to lead. So yeah.
So do you feel like scheduling is a really important thing in freelancing then, to have like a structure, I would say, to keep you on the right path?
For me, that's really important. I'm such like an alpha, like an atypical, or rather a typical like alpha. I need routine and structure. I like a sense of achievement. I like a sense of purpose. Is there that thing which is like, you know, the key to happiness is a sense of belonging, a sense of connection, and a sense of purpose?
Yeah.
So belonging to, being loved by people, you know, a sense of belonging within a community, let's say, connection, like being able to connect to people, to things, and a sense of purpose in your day to day. So
Yeah.
feeling like you've achieved something. And I think, where was I going with that? Where did you start? What was the question?
Structure.
Yes, super important for me. Super important. And I think that's like as a super important for me, but it's definitely like a piece of advice that I'd give to other freelancers if I was coaching them, that it's, no matter what happens, and your weeks will change, always there'll be, my week to week never looks the same. But if you can create a structure within which your work life lives, then you'll feel more in control of the kind of the changes and shifts, because you're like, okay, well, I know that on Monday I go to the gym, and Tuesday nights I meet up with this person, or do you know what I mean? And I have my I have my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I know that for me, I have a dog, and that's helpful. So it's like I walk the dog at this time, and I have to do that. And on Thursdays I go for a walk with my neighbor, and that's. But you kind of. And the other big thing for me as a freelancer was like keeping my weekends separate as much as possible. Obviously, that's not always possible.
No. It sounds like you're creating stability from an unstable kind of career, really.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Do you feel like if like a self-tape comes through or an audition comes through and it interferes with that structure that you've created, do you feel like you're a bit caught off guard, or you're kind of shaken by it? Because some people feel like that.
Absolutely. I mean, aren't you? Everyone. It's like the
why today?
It always comes at the worst time as well, doesn't it? You're like, I don't have any time.
Yeah.
Or when you're on holiday, or like
always book a holiday, you'll get a job.
Yeah, or you'll get an audition. You haven't had an audition in months, and you go away, and your agent's like, I know you're away, but could you self-tape for this massive thing, massive Netflix program? And you're like, sure, no probs. I can find a white wall and some lights and da-da-da. I can balance my phone on like a flower pot, no problem.
Yeah, literally. I could just rope whoever I'm with on holiday.
So true.
to be the reader.
Yeah, exactly. I just, of course, it knocks everything off balance always. And it's that thing of like, I'm really grateful for this. I'm really happy this audition has come through, but oh my God, I have to now rearrange my next 3 days and move everything around. And, I think that's part and parcel of it as well. It's kind of, my sister has this great phrase of like holding things with lightness, holding life with lightness. And so instead of getting stressed about it, being like, ha 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 ha, this is part of my job. And how funny, this is, it's that again. It's that annoying moment where I have to rearrange everything. How annoying.
I suppose I always find it like when you're busy and you're not worrying about what's coming next or when the next opportunity is, opportunities then present itself to you, and then it's like teaching you, I guess the universe teaching you, how do you juggle all of this?
And can you juggle it?
Because you're getting now what you want. Now you've
got to show that you can actually deal with it.
Because it happens all the time.
All the time.
All the time. But I think it does. That's one thing that I haven't, I'm not super great at. And I'd hazard to say that a lot of freelancers are like this, that when an audition comes through, I'm like, ugh, for the whole time leading up to it. Not a self-tape as well, but specifically an audition, I'm like, I hold myself in a different way until after it's done. even if it's like a week away, you know? I don't know. Do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think because, especially with in-person stuff, because it's so few and far between that we actually get to meet people in person now for auditions, that there is such a weight to it. I think for actors, there's such a heaviness to it because it means so much to you, because it's a potential door opening, you know.
And also now in this day and age, like with self-taping and stuff, you can redo your self-tape like 100 times if you want to, but when you're in the audition room, you might just get that one attempt and that's it, and you can't really redo
take it back.
So there's that as well. That is teaching and testing.
Definitely.
And for sure. One thing I have gotten better at though is like being quite strict with myself that I don't do 100 self-tapes, because it's often the first one or the second, which is the one. You know, that freshness and that instinct.
Yes. I usually find, for me, it's by the third one, I'm like, number 3, gonna nail it. That's it. Number 3, boom. I'm the same when I do voice acting. I'm always do 3 takes, and I know that the last one will be my best. I know it.
There you go. You know your number.
I do. Number 3. That's it.
Number 3.
What's the best part of the job for you, Peter?
Definitely the variety and the people. Just being a freelancer, I actually love that my weeks are different. Every day is different, and I find that exciting. And also the people that you get to meet. It's a huge variety of people. I love people, which I guess is why I love being an actor and a coach. You know, I'm interested in people, and so getting to meet such a variety of people, you know, is a gift. And the routine changing, which is sometimes exhausting, isn't it? Sometimes like, oh God, I need to be here and there, and God. And the other thing is the travel, which I think a lot of people don't get to travel as much for work. Maybe they do, but for me, like being able to go to Budapest and film was so great. And I didn't get to see Budapest as I would have wanted to, but I've been to some places in the world that I would never have chosen to go to when I was acting or in a job.
Yeah. What's the most interesting place you've been to for work?
Interesting. Definitely Budapest was beautiful and interesting and unexpectedly. I really, really loved it there. That was unexpected. The other place that I was so lucky to have gone, and it was just for a commercial, was India. And we traveled. Yeah, we traveled all around India for shooting this commercial, and that was
crazy. What was the commercial for?
It's for a car. So that
wow.
Yeah, it was a big car commercial, and I mean I think their budget was huge, but we just we went all around India and saw and stayed in really remote places and stayed in gorgeous places. And my goodness, I didn't do much acting on that, but I didn't have any words, you know, but it was, oh God, it was such a treat. I did drive the car into a ditch in the desert.
Oh no!
Yeah, but by accident. Oh yeah, by accident. But there was no damage. It was just like the woman gets in the car and she drives, and I was like, no, I will not be this person. The woman who gets in the car and then mucks it up. Yeah. Anyway. That was a great place to go for work.
That sounds it.
Being a freelancer, though, it makes you have so many different stories to share all the time, because no day is the same. I suppose if you work the 9 to 5, and no offense to anyone who is 9 to 5, I guess their jobs are always very similar. They're quite mundane, I guess. in some ways, depending on what they do, I suppose. Whereas as a freelancer, you're tapping into so many different things all the time, and if you have so many different skill sets and you're doing different things, the stories that you have is
always
just like
so many stories.
Really cool, I find.
Yes.
One of my stories from that trip is that we had to get an internal flight, and we flew on this tiny plane, and the airlines were called SpiceJet. And
oh my God.
Just, you know, when you're like, I don't want my flight to be spicy. I don't want this airplane to be spicy. I just want it to be safe. SpiceJet.
Yeah.
SpiceJet.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
Was it a good flight at least?
I mean, it felt like flying in a baked bean can, but we got there. I'm still here, so yeah.
Well, there we go. You live to tell the tale.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in terms of advice for our listeners, what advice would you give to freelancers when doubt starts to kick in?
Trust the process. Just trust that tomorrow will be different, next month will be different, in a year's time anything could have happened. So trust the process. Stay consistent with how you talk to yourself, with your routine, with the work that you put in. Stay consistent as much as possible, and keep putting the work in, even when it feels like you're treading water, because you don't know. Sometimes you might be really enthusiastic and motivated about sending emails to people and going to auditions, or just nothing's coming, and you're like, I'm going to write to these people, and then the week after it might feel like, God, what's the point? Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Show up and do the work. Stay consistent. Trust the process, and be your own best boss. I would think about the boss that you'd want to work for. You wouldn't want to work for a boss who told you were crap and failing, and that you're a waste of time and you should be doing something else. Like, you'd want to work for a boss who was like, okay, great job, and what can we learn from this, and empowering and lovely and celebratory. So I think be your own best boss.
Yeah,
I love that. I've just had a bit of a aha moment, because
epiphany.
And literally, because I always think of being my own boss as like, I can make my own schedule and I can, I work for myself, but I've never actually thought about it in terms of I am my own boss in terms of how I speak to myself and the pressure I put myself under, or the way in which I talk to myself. I've never actually thought about it like that. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Away with me.
You're welcome. Yeah, I think we're all working on it. The voices in our heads, or the negative voice in our heads, is sometimes feels so real. But I tell myself this as well, is like, I can choose to listen, or I can choose to speak differently to myself.
Yeah.
Treat yourself with kindness and the respect that you deserve, I think, is really important.
Yeah. Or if there is that negative voice there, then is there another counteracting, like, self-coach voice who's like, don't listen to them, you can do it, kind of thing.
The angel and the devil on the shoulders.
That's it. Brilliant. Before we finish up, we are going to play a little game of Would You Rather. Would you rather live on a peaceful tropical island or a big bustling city?
Bustling city.
Would you rather have to start a new job every year until you retire, or have only one job for your entire career?
One job.
Would you rather spend your money traveling the world but have few personal possessions, or a really amazing house but never leave your hometown?
Amazing house. Such a home bird.
Would you rather have to wear all black every day for the rest of your life, or have to mix every colour of the rainbow into your outfit every day?
I'm going to say colour, which feels like not me, but yeah, to wear black. No, colour.
Yeah.
Would you rather be able to talk with animals or speak every language?
Speak every language.
Okay, cool. Would you rather be covered head to toe from neck to toe
Yeah.
in tattoos or have one big face tattoo?
Neck to toe.
Would you rather always be 1 hour late or 1 hour early to everything?
1 hour early.
Yeah.
Being late's so stressful.
I know.
But you make an entrance, don't you?
You do, but it's also rude.
I know, it's bad.
My partner will laugh when he listens to this. He's like, would you rather be 1 hour early, Peter?
Interesting. Would you rather have to speak in rhyme for the rest of your life or have to speak in riddles for the rest of your life?
Rhyme.
Rhyme.
Would you rather have more time or more money?
Money.
Money, nice.
Okay.
Would you rather be a freelancer or PAYE?
Freelancer. 100%.
All the way. And just before we let you go, can you let our listeners know where they can find you on socials?
I'm not really on social media, but yes, I mean, I am on it, but not really. I think my Instagram handle is just at Peta Cornish, PetaCornish, at Peta Cornish.
And do you have a website for any of your work?
I do. My website is www.petacornish.com.
Love that.
Great.
It's great.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today,
thank
Peter.
you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Not the 9 to 5 podcast. If you liked this episode, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel, where we release weekly podcasts every Monday. Comment below to let us know who you'd like to see next on our podcast.
Give this video a thumbs up and maybe share it with a freelance friend or two.
Until next week, everyone, keep freelancing.